Some fishing trips are relaxing, some are exciting, but every once in a while there comes a trip that turns into a full-scale battle between man and nature. A battle where every muscle in your body is pushed to its limit, where a single mistake can send you overboard, and where the creature on the other end of the line seems determined to drag you into the depths. What happened off the coast of Stuart, Florida, was exactly that kind of experience. The day began with calm seas and clear skies, but everyone on the boat knew something extraordinary was waiting beneath us. We had traveled to a famous offshore wreck site, a place known throughout Florida as home to some of the largest Goliath groupers in the world. These fish are not ordinary predators. They are living giants capable of growing to incredible sizes and producing enough power to humble even experienced anglers. As we arrived above the wreck, the excitement on board immediately changed into nervous anticipation. Looking over the side of the boat, we could actually see massive shadows moving through the water below. Somewhere down there, hidden among the steel remains of the sunken wreck, were fish weighing hundreds of pounds. But before the first bait even touched the water, one thing became very clear. This was not going to be a normal fishing trip. The tackle alone looked intimidating. The rod was incredibly thick, built to withstand extreme pressure. The reel was loaded with heavy steel cable rather than traditional fishing line. Even more impressive was the drag system, capable of applying over 100 pounds of resistance. This was the kind of equipment normally used to battle giant blue marlin, giant tuna, or some of the largest fish in the ocean. Captain Ben carefully checked every connection before giving final instructions. His expression made it obvious that he wasn't joking. "These fish are serious," he warned. Everyone listened closely. A small mistake could result in broken equipment. A bigger mistake could result in someone ending up in the water. The stories started flowing. Previous anglers had been dragged across the deck. Some had lost expensive gear. A few had even been pulled overboard when they underestimated the incredible power of these giant groupers. Suddenly, the atmosphere changed. This wasn't just fishing anymore. This was preparation for combat. The bait was lowered toward the wreck, disappearing into the deep blue water. For a few moments, nothing happened. The boat drifted quietly above the structure while everyone stared at the rod tip. Then it happened. Without warning, the rod slammed downward with unbelievable force. "Fish on!" The reel exploded into action. The rod bent so violently that it looked like it might snap in half. Instantly, the fish began charging toward the bottom with incredible determination. I pulled back with everything I had. Nothing happened. The fish kept going. It felt less like a fish, and more like trying to stop a moving truck. Every pound of pressure from the reel transferred directly into my arms, shoulders, and back. The force was overwhelming. Within seconds, my muscles were already burning. "Keep pulling!" The crew shouted encouragement from behind. I leaned back harder. The fish answered by pulling even harder. The battle had officially begun. For the next several minutes, neither side was willing to give up. Every time I gained a few feet of line, the fish immediately stole it back. The massive grouper stayed close to the wreck, using its weight and strength to maintain control. My hands began shaking. My legs started to feel weak. Sweat poured down my face. The rod felt heavier with every passing second. At one point, the pressure became so intense that I thought I might lose my balance completely. Captain Ben quickly moved closer, ready to grab the rod if necessary. "Stay up! Stay up!" I tried, but the fish wasn't finished. Another powerful run nearly pulled me forward. Every muscle in my body screamed in protest. My lower back felt like it was on fire. My shoulders burned. My arms felt completely exhausted. Still, the giant below continued fighting. Several times, I honestly considered giving up. The fish seemed unstoppable, yet every time that thought entered my mind, the crew pushed me forward. "Come on, don't quit. Now, you're getting closer. Keep fighting." Their energy helped me continue. Foot by foot, I slowly began recovering line. The giant grouper was still powerful, but for the first time, it seemed like the fish was beginning to tire. The massive shadow beneath the boat slowly grew larger. Everyone leaned over the rail. Nobody spoke. Then suddenly, the giant appeared. The Reaction was immediate. Oh my God! The fish looked absolutely enormous. Its broad head seemed almost as wide as a table. Its body was thick and muscular, resembling a living submarine more than a fish. Years of survival had transformed it into one of the true giants of the ocean. Captain Ben estimated the fish at nearly 400 pounds. For several seconds, everyone simply stared in disbelief. The struggle, the pain, the exhaustion, everything suddenly felt worth it, but surprisingly, the adventure was only getting started. After successfully bringing the fish to the surface, we decided to enter the water for photographs. It sounded exciting at first, but once we jumped in, reality quickly set in. The current was incredibly strong. Even staying in one place required constant effort. Meanwhile, the giant grouper floated nearby, looking even larger underwater than it had from the boat. Being face to face with a creature that size created a completely different feeling. You suddenly realize how small you really are. Every movement had to be controlled. Every breath mattered. Adding to the tension was the knowledge that sharks occasionally patrolled these waters. Hammerhead sharks and other large predators were known to visit the area, creating an extra layer of excitement and danger. While positioning for photographs, one of the grouper's sharp spines scraped across my arm, leaving visible marks behind. Blood appeared almost instantly. Yet strangely enough, nobody seemed concerned. After everything we had already experienced, a few scratches felt insignificant. Eventually, the giant fish was released and disappeared back into the depths. The celebration aboard the boat didn't last long. Moments later, another rod doubled over. Another giant had arrived. The second fish wasn't quite as large as the first, but it fought with unbelievable aggression. The reel screamed once again. The rod bent toward the water. The angler holding it immediately found himself locked in another exhausting battle. The crew erupted into cheers. The excitement returned, and once again, everyone prepared for another unforgettable fight against one of the ocean's most powerful giants.